Hello everyone. Hi, how are you guys doing? Welcome back to another episode of A Dark Reaction. This is Haarute Live. My name is Matt. I think this might be the finale for season one. So that's fun. This might be a big one. But before we begin, I would like to say there has been a construction going on for like 2 weeks, like right next door, like this wall, immediately next to it, maybe the same wall even. Yesterday I tried to record this and there was hammering that just started the moment that I started recording. So I just didn't even get to talk for like a minute before it started, so I didn't see anything, don't worry. I didn't even get to do the intro, so that sucked. Yesterday was not a good day. Today I woke up at 7 in the morning so I could record this very early and hopefully before that shit starts. So that's what we're doing. So I'm gonna try to speed through this intro section. So I'm sorry if it's too short. But okay. Yeah, this is gonna be the finale. What happened previous episode? Everything happened. Literally, everything is now. That was the title of the episode. I don't remember what date it was because I believe that at this point dates are actually important. But it was we got to see that date simultaneously across 53, 86, and 2019. Ulrich got caught by young Egon Tideman. So, all right, that happened in 53. Oh yeah, I want to say, we we saw young Helge, like kid Helge, right? We saw him for like a second, and he was just laying in that floor of that basement room. And then for like a second, we saw him like wake up. And it was not that he just randomly wake up normally, it's that he like jolted himself back awake. And the one thing I want to say is that while editing, I think I caught like a small thing, and it might just be me overthinking this. But I thought I heard like a sound cue of like electricity, of like shock. You know when you try to revive someone and you shock them, something like that. That's kind of what I heard when Kid Helge like woke himself up. So now I'm thinking, are we like sending energy throughout time in that room? Is that what we're doing? Like, did we like the electric chair room? Is it like a Helge life support, like a kid Helge life support, and that's what we're murdering children? So then they get electrocuted and energy or electricity or whatever gets sent back in time to kid Helge so then he can live. But at that point, it's like it wouldn't even be electricity; it would be like life energy or some shit like that. And I'm not sure if this show wants to dwell into that because that's the kind of shit that it's like that's not even sci-fi. That's like sci-fantasy. When we start talking about the concept of like what life energy or like soul is. Like that's some shonen manga shit. So I don't know what that is, but I'm thinking that those might be connected because Kid Helga was like dragged to like the middle of the room, which is exactly where the electric chair is in 86. So it's like, you know, I still have a lot of questions. I still have no idea what's going on while simultaneously knowing what's going on. Like I said in like a description, the show is very good at like giving me a lot to work with, but still answering nothing. So there we go. In 86, what happened in 86? Oh yeah, we got to see Alexander. Like Alexander just showed up, and his real name was Boris Newell. He was like maybe like a thief. Well, no, not really. Maybe something worse. So he seemed to be like a criminal. And as a teenager, he had like this leather jacket, kind of long hair, and he got shot. And he arrived to Winden, and he had an ID, and he had a fake ID, and he just buried the regular ID and got the fake ID, and decided to live as Alexander from this point onward. He met Regina, whatever, all that stuff. He started working at the nuclear plant, because Regina's mom took him in, and he wielded the weird like the nuclear waste shit that was at that cave. So he was the one who built that door he himself. In the future, Hannah went up to Alexander and with his fake ID that he buried like 33 years ago, and she was like, "Hey, if you don't want me to tell anyone, you're gonna destroy Ulrich's life." And at this point, I'm like, well, Ulrich's life is already kind of destroyed. So during the reaction, I kind of thought they're gonna discover that Ulrich went to jail in 53 and died in jail or some shit like that, like 20 years ago. So that could be a thing. Ulrich is all like, yeah, like that could be a thing. Maybe he dies in 53. I don't know. But I think that they're gonna actually find records of Ulrich Nielsen in 53, and that's that's how this shit is just gonna get blown wide open. So that's why we have. Anything else that happens in 19? I don't know. I don't. Oh yeah, old Helge was in 86, and he was like spying on himself, on adult Helge 86. So 2019 Helge was looking at 86 Helge, and it was weird. Another thing I want to mention real quick is that somebody, a patron, brought up how do I feel about Peter, because Peter is incredibly suspicious, and like we have heard that conversation that just blew my mind because it was like crazy, because it's like, wait, what? When Peter said that he didn't know about the cabin, he only came to Winden in 87, and also there's no mention of Peter in 86, so it seems to be true, and it's like, well, what the fuck is the deal with Peter? And my thoughts on Peter is I haven't got a fucking clue. My immediate thought would be, well, he might be a time traveler that shows up in 87, but at that point I come back to like a thought I had a couple episodes ago, I think, which is like, this timelines like run simultaneously, 1-to-1. So right now it's 86, and then 2019, and then 53. So next year it would be 87, 2020, and 54, right? So what I'm thinking is that if Peter is a time traveler that shows up in 87, that would mean that he came from 2020, 54, or any other year that is 33 specifically, because like we still haven't really gotten a confirmation on the fact that there is more after the 33 years. They keep talking about like a time loop, maybe. I don't know if it's a literal time loop or it's just the fact that shit is connected. But if it is a time loop, I'm just thinking like 2019 and then it resets, right? 33 and then it resets back to like 87. So it's like 3 loops, and you can connect the end of one to the beginning of the other, and whatever. It's complicated. But if Peter came out in 87, and he literally said, I arrived on Winding on 87, so I don't know anything. It's like, he could be a time traveler, and if so, we might get answers whenever the show goes into 2020 territory. And I'm not sure if the second season has like a couple months time skip, because it might. Because I think all of this is happening like September, isn't it? Or like October. So it could be like, I don't know, like a couple months, 3-4 months, and then we got answers to Peter. So I don't know. I'm not sure what the second season of the show is gonna be like. So that could be a thing. That's what I wanted to say. Alternatively, he could just be some rando, like Alexander, because Alexander just showed up. He just literally walked into plot, and now he's here. That said, I'm still suspicious of Alexander, because we don't know his backstory. Like, we don't know what happened for him to get to Winden, and he was shot, and he had to change his identity. So we don't know shit. So I said, like, Alexander might be like a time traveler also, because like that's the thing, is that the moment you introduce time travel and introduce that this town is fucked up, and that there were people in this town that were people from a different time. I look at Mikkel. It's like, okay, you might not be the only one, But Alexander, like, I want to say, like, Alexander being, like, used by Hannah in a way, it's like, Okay, now because now I'm thinking like maybe by maybe by saying his name and making that shit public, and he's scared of the fact that he might not exist in the future. Because if he comes from the future and people know his name, this gets known, that might stop him from existing. Because, well, I don't know. Oh yeah, something else that happened is that we saw Claudia. We saw 2019 Claudia show up to Tannhaus's shop in 53. So we get to see a couple things. Also, Claudia. Yeah, okay. So a couple of things I forgot to mention. Claudia, she showed up in front of Bartosz, and she was like, "Okay, I'm your grandmother." And Bartosz was like, "My parents told me you were dead." And she was like, "Well, they had the reasons to tell you that I was dead. I was kind of a bad mom, you know. So probably Regina doesn't mind if I just died, you know, some shit like that." But that went places because then we saw Claudia and at the end, and she showed up in Tannhaus's shop in 53 with the schematics for the time machine. So it's like, whoa, okay, hold on. Like, I'm seeing stuff happen. I don't know why it's happening, and I want to know why. Like, I want to know what is Claudia's role here, because it seems like in 86 she's actually like starting to understand what's going on, because she got to see her dog again, Gretchen, that went missing 33 years ago. So it's like, you know, and there was also, she's also the nuclear plant lady, so she heard and she knows about the nuclear explosion. Well, not explosion, but like the incident that caused it. So this shit is happening, right? The weird readings and the nuclear waste. She knows all of this. And then we also got to see Bartosz went to hang out with Noah again on his car. And Noah was like, "Hey, have you thought about what the proposition I gave you?" And Bartosz was like, "Everything that you said would happen, happened. So, you know," and it's like, what's going on there? You know, like Bartosz might like play for Noah's side. He might be a cult member now, but yeah, there you go. That's what I remember now, because it's been like a little bit, like a week and a half. Mostly because of construction shit. Trust me, I've been trying to record that shit for a bit, but construction is just making it impossible. Because it's making it not only impossible to record, but also impossible to sleep, which fucks with my schedule, and then it's like impossible to like be up on time or whatever, or to even fall asleep. Insomnia has been a thing lately, but whatever. I would say that those are the most important things. Also, Jonas and like the other girl, Martha. Yeah, Jonas and Martha. Martha is like, "Why don't you answer to my calls?" And Jonas is like, "Listen, we can't do this." So that's going on. But yeah, Dark, Season 1, Episode 10. Let's go. The day of Mikkel's disappearance. Oh shit. Are we actually gonna see more? Wait, what the fuck? So when I said there was like a wormhole in that room, I mean, look at his face. That kid's not gonna live. Okay, I have questions. A, did you know about this, or did you just learn about it? Yeah, that's Matt's. Yeah. So he's the one that moved him into the forest. Tronte, I found your son.
It's me, Peter.
Did you not know about this?
You should really see here.
Yes.
It's to do with your son.
Not that one, the other one. It seems like Peter and Tronte didn't actually know about anything. Peter just so happened to be there when the black hole opened. The wormhole, whatever. Why was Peter here to begin with? But it could just be plot convenience.
All of a sudden, he was just there.
And now Noah walks in.
Someone's here.
And he recruits them. No, it's Claudia.
Tronti.
Claudia.
Peter. There's so much here I need to explain.
Okay, so they know when we saw
We
them
must
together.
take Jonas to the place where he needs to be found.
Yeah. The way this works is that things need to happen because they have already happened, so he needs to go to the place where he needs to be found. Okay. Okay, so Peter and Tronte are not actually part of the cult. They're not in the loop. Well, they were when we saw them together and they had like the notebook. But that's because they were recruited by Claudia, not because they were recruited by Noah. We just saw the wormhole. We just straight off saw the time portal. Just bam there. So my suspicion of like there is a like a wormhole in that room specifically was true. So when they got electrocuted in the wheelchair, but like why though? Alpha and Omega. Alright. 12 November 2019. Oh shit. Okay, so what that tells me is that we're gonna see some crazy shit this episode, and it's all going to be justified under Jonas went crazy. And the things we are seeing is what he is saying, but it's not real. Finally. Fucking finally get some answers.
You knew him.
This is for you.
It's the same note you already got, but this is like way early.
How long have you known?
I've always known since way back.
Since he literally showed up. Because that was the first thing he told me.
I didn't believe him.
And then he predicted 9/11 and he was like, whoa, really?
Why didn't you stop it?
I never thought he'd take his own life.
Yeah, but you could have saved Mikkel then. That means my other grandmother's the principal at my school. Her husband's fucking my mom, looking for his son, who's also my father. So 2 days ago, I was kissing my aunt.
No matter how strange or abnormal it seems to us. Who are we to think we're God?
I just want things to go back to normal.
They're not going back to normal. They were not normal to begin with. Only your perception of it was there.
I just want to wake up.
Have you heard of the paradox of Master Zhuang? I dreamed I was a butterfly. But now that I have woken up, I no longer know if I'm a person who dreamed about being a butterfly, or am I a butterfly dreaming about being a person?
I like that. I like that a lot.
Maybe I'm both.
Both. Yeah. Shit, that's a good trick. That's a good trick, kid. Ulrich Nielsen. Oh my god.
Egon, yeah?
Sure, of course.
My only aim is to take many lives. The more, the better I feel.
Oh my god.
Are you a Satanist?
Satanist?
Oh my god.
No, I'm a cop.
You're a cop.
That was a song from the 80s. I can promise you, you won't like it very much. I have to find my son!
So, death sentence? Or just locked away forever?
Martha told me you kissed her.
It happened, but I didn't want to.
You didn't want what? Total piece of shit! You're just like your dad.
It's as if one could look at the beginning and end of something at the same time. Look at this here. This part of my machine has never moved. It was included in the design and blueprint, but I never knew what its function was. That part of my machine communicates with this device. It's not just the past that influences the future, but the future can also influence the
So it responds to like radiation, because phones had radiation on them to like very small degrees.
I wouldn't have been able to build it.
Yeah, there we go.
I still have no idea what the purpose is.
Oh my god.
What's that?
It's literally.
137.
Oh my god. It's like Back to the Future 1. It's literally a It's literally a Back to the Future 1 reference.
Tell me one thing. What is it like in the future?
By tomorrow, it'll be different than this.
Your father was kidnapped as a kid, right? What was the exact date?
Yesterday, but 50th. Did Charlotte literally figure it out?
Can I help you, sir?
What are you gonna do, Helge? Not this one, the other one. What are you gonna do? What was the reason of you coming here? Because you were always meant to, but...
You have to stop.
Okay, future Helge is trying to change it, but you can't.
He's using you.
Noah.
Those promises he makes to you are lies. You must think I'm someone else.
Is Helge gonna kill himself?
Think I'm someone else. I've said that before. Huh. Everything Noah says to you, it's just a lie. Today is the day. The beginning and the end. Don't go making the same mistakes I made.
He's gonna kill himself.
Don't make the same mistakes I made.
Young Helge is gonna kill old Helge. And he knows this. You're not changing anything. Unless you know that this is gonna cause things to change. But if you don't know that things are gonna change, then they're not gonna.
A few more hours and it will be over.
What does that mean?
Mads will live again.
What the?
You believe her? Everything Claudia said would happen has all happened in the last 8 days. Just like it's written right here. Then why are half the pages in there torn out? After today, it will all be new.
Okay, is this the end of the time loop and then we go back to 86? That's one possibility. 2, the nuclear plant would literally blow up.
When I was a little boy, a man appeared. He didn't talk much. There was this profound sadness in his eyes. That look you might see in those who just want to die, but life won't let them. He stood in the hallway, with his eyes wide open and said, "Nothing is done in vain. Not a single breath, not a single step, not a single word, not any pain. It's all an eternal, wondrous miracle of one." I couldn't relate to his words. It was only years later when I myself felt such pain. Then I truly understood what he meant.
So I had a crazy idea while this was happening. Noah is Bartosz.
So who's next?
Jonas Conwald.
It's pretty hard to explain.
What is he going to do? Charlotte, you're this fucking close. Like...
Doppler, 9 years old. Was reported missing on November 10th, 1953.
They took pictures. Yeah. There we go. There we go. She got it. She figured it out. Sadly, it's just about the time this is gonna happen, and everything's gonna be erased, and we're gonna go back to 0. So that's fun. Okay, so this is what's gonna happen. He's gonna tell them that he is in the electric chair room, and then they're gonna go there, and he's not gonna be there because he wormholed away to 86 to the electric chair room, and they're gonna execute him. That's what's gonna happen. He's away.
So who are you?
The literal Antichrist. Oh my god. We're gonna get answers as to what the fuck is going on here. So, I had the theory all the way back that the electric chair doesn't actually kill you, but like teleports you or something.
There's no need to be afraid.
Hey!
That's him.
Hey, wait! Who are you? Why did you lock me in here?
It wasn't me. It was Noah. That's kind of a prototype for a time machine. And you're the guinea pig for it.
That passageway in the cave is directly underneath this bunker, and if it's opened, the energy runs through this room. But it needs to be increased, so it's not a DeLorean. There's no hissing or steam. The first time machine's a bunker with 4 walls, but it still doesn't quite work.
Let me out.
I can't. It's the only way for things to become normal again.
Who are you?
You don't know?
It is
The
you.
letter. The one you burned.
You burned the old
It
one.
still exists. You will carry that letter for almost 33 years before you finally pass it on. To yourself. I am you. My name is Jonas Conwald. I sent you that letter. Or should I say, I sent it to me. Everything that you experience, I've already experienced. I've already had this conversation, but I was on the other side then.
That's insane!
Yes,
That doesn't make any
but
sense!
well, kinda does.
You can decide to let me go right now!
But if I were to let you out of there, then you'll never become who I am today. If I
Exactly.
change my past now, that would alter who I am in the present. Then I wouldn't be able to destroy that black hole once and for all.
I want Mikkel back. I want things to go back to when they were normal. I want all this sick shit to stop happening to us!
You still do. 33 years later, I still want to make that happen. But Mikkel, our father's just a small part of this sprawling sickness. I've seen things no one should ever see. I'm sorry.
Okay, the fact that he is there and he confirms that he is you means that you won't die here. Like, the moment that you realize, okay, I am literally invincible, then this shit doesn't matter anymore. This is no longer scary. That's Helge. That's that song. He's gonna run over himself. He's gonna run over old Helge. I mean, the song was just starting. Did old Helge steal a car and crash into himself? Because his death is what makes this Helge realize that shit needs to change. Maybe. Or could have been someone else. I'm just so bent on this idea of old Helge dying so young Helge can change. Because beginning and, you know. Yeah! It happened! Is everything gonna warp back to 86?
Everything is just about to be
Or 53? But like, people live.
Jonas will destroy the hole, but no. He doesn't realize that by destroying it, he will be the one that triggers its existence. What a paradox. The cesium in that useless machine of his will never destroy that black hole. Instead, it is what will create it in the first place.
What is this Homestuck shit?
But Claudia lied to him. Most people are nothing but pawns on a chessboard. Moved by an unknown hand. Their lives only exist to be sacrificed for a much higher goal. There are two forces that are out there fighting to control time travel. Light and shadow. We belong to the light. Don't ever forget that. Even though some things we do have a dark nature. No victory is won without sacrifice. We who know must make certain every step is repeated exactly as it was before. No matter how inhumane it seems to us, no matter what sacrifices are demanded of us. Believe me, it's the others. They are truly inhumane. Never trust her. No matter what she says. Jonas trusted her once, and he'll never trust her again. Jonas thinks he will change everything, but he will learn he is merely her puppet. But our time will come. We will free humanity from its childlike ways, from its pain. But you must be strong. Can you do that?
I can't tell if he's recruiting new people or if he's talking to himself. Because now I'm bent on this theory of Noah being Bartosz. he literally just gave in the book, so
It is time.
it could just be an explosion that just like wipes out everything and reforms it again. Okay, so we just learned that this isn't gonna work, so that sucks. The younger Jonas is gonna be the only one that survives the time loop. Because he's inside of the proto-time machine. He's gonna be the only one that survives this, like, time loop wipe. So the older one is gonna cause it, but the younger one is gonna be the only person that survives because he's in the bunker, essentially.
Maybe this time I'll outwit
the time bunker.
Maybe I can carve out a living in the cold at the outskirts of some city. I'll exchange all my
Jesus Christ.
become another man.
Charlotte, you figured out too late. You figured it out too late. The black hole is coming. I was gonna say, does the black hole affect all of them? And the reason, the answer is yes, because it's like right in the middle of the three-way section in the cave. Oh, that's stupid. That's great.
In drizzling rain, in salted slush and bitter hail, as voices
Stronde and Jana, yeah, Stronde knows, so. So, a black hole just showed up. Yeah.
a quiet lie.
Can they see it? Well then, there we go.
For me,
That's it. We're all doomed.
for someone.
So I did say, what the fuck? Claudia, why do you have a sniper rifle on you? Alright. Kid Helge. This episode did really just go all out at this fucking effects.
2, 3.
Is he seeing Kid Helge? Through the port? Yes. Kid Helge's gonna walk through it, and he's gonna wake up in the electric chair room. Is that shit safe? There we go. This is the room Claudia was in. I thought about this room, but I don't think I talked too much about it because I don't know what the fuck it is. This is the everything is connected room. Oh my god. Oh my god. There's an actual war. I see guns. Is there an... I think I said this like once. We could time jump into 32 years into the future and there's gonna be a war. Oh my god, this might be fucking... That's not snow. That's not snow. It could be snow, but what if it isn't? What if this is a nuclear fall off? Or ashes, or whatever. Dude, if this show time jumps into the future and we see a war going on and this becomes like a post-apocalyptic shit, I'm in. I'm so in. That's many languages. Yeah. I mean, you are literally plot invulnerable, but we're gonna get to see how your journey goes from here on. You have to live 33 years until you get to that point that we saw just now. So...
Hey, you! Hands up!
Oh my god, he did jump 32 years into the future and it's a war going on. Is that Claudia? Well, no.
Where am I? What year is it?
Yeah, this is the future. It's not a good one.
Welcome to the future.
Okay, so I think I said it in like episode 4 or 5 or something like that. It was a while ago. I said this show, when they introduced the concept of like time travel and like black holes and whatever, this show, and they have no issue in episode 3 just going back to 86. Just fuck it, we just have an episode in 86, and then they did that again for like 53. And now at this point we just jump back and forth between one and the other. But I did say it back then, the moment they introduced this concept to us, they could just jump to a completely different point that is wildly unexpected, and we could just do that. We could just jump to like whatever place different, and we could just do that in the future. And I was right. Because this seems to be... So Jonas time jumped to... Okay, let's take guesses. 2019, 33 years after that would be 2252. Yeah. 52, yeah. So Jonas could have time jumped to 52, or he could have just time jumped another 33 after that, which would be 85. But let's say that it's 52. Let's say that it's 52. The reason why I say 52 is because that didn't look too futuristic, but it looked futuristic enough to be 52. Also, there's a war going on, so that's fun. Radiation war, yeah, sure, I'll take it. That sounds about right. So that's going on. Jesus, okay. So they did a complete change of setting. Not right now, but just like right at the ending, we're gonna see a complete change of setting, and that's gonna be it. And that's probably gonna be season 2. So like, okay, what do I fucking say about this episode even? Because there's a lot to unpack. So let's go from the very beginning. So at the very beginning of the episode, we got to see the night when Mikkel disappeared. The reason, like, Peter was gone, and we were suspicious of Peter. And it's actually kind of fitting that I talk about Peter, like right at the beginning of this episode. I might have been baited into talking about him because he was gonna be relevant this episode. But I did say, like, I don't know, we're just gonna see, you know. So at the beginning of this very episode, Peter, he was looking at the transgender hooker, whatever, and clearly he was like, all right, I'm fucked up. Like, I shouldn't do this, whatever. And he was looking at her, and then he was like, fuck it. And then he went to, like, I don't know, like, repent, feel like shit. He just so happened to go to the fucking basement and the cabin, you know. And I understand that he owns the cabin, or that Helge owns the cabin, so he knows about the cabin and he has been there. Even though, well, I don't know if he said, like, I don't remember fully the conversation that he had with Charlotte about the cabin all those episodes ago, so I don't know if it goes there, but he was just there, and it happened. It seems to be just plot convenience, the fact that he was there specifically. And he was, like, feeling like shit over the fact that he keeps cheating on his wife, essentially. Or not even that, but, like, yeah, like, yeah, I think they said, like, he's really into dicks. And that's the thing. And he feels like shit because he keeps trying to hide it. But, like, everybody knows it. In the family, at least. And the family is, like, broken because of it. Because he tries to, like, show love for his wife, but he doesn't feel that. Whatever. It's a weird situation. The point is, she just so happened to be in the basement. And I literally just wormhole open. And fucking Matt's body just dropped. Cool. Now, the reason why we're suspicious of Tronte is because we also got to see, like, oh, Tronte, okay. yeah, we also got to see like Tronte being suspicious as hell, like Peter, and then we got to see them together. But now we learned that they weren't actually playing for Noah; they were playing for Claudia. Okay, and like Peter just so happened to be there. He saw the fucking dead body. He tried to like bring it back to life, even though his fucking face was fried. So there you go. And then he saw the name. He had like an ID on him, and he was like Mats Nielsen, and he just fucking called Tronte. He was like, "Please come to see it. You gotta come to see this." He did, and then that shit. So, and then Claudia showed up. So, okay, that's wild. That's fucking wild because I did not expect that to have happened, but that's what happened, and it made sense. It makes sense. Like they were playing for Noah because we never actually saw them with Noah, but you kind of assume that because that's the only group we see. We don't actually see a group for the good guys, quote unquote. Well, that's the thing. Is that like I don't even know who's the good guy here. So we have that. Okay. After that. Okay, so old Helge went back to 86 and I call that shit by the way, but I don't think it was too difficult to call because old Helge was bent on the idea of changing things, of changing young Helge's perception of adult Helge's perception or of Noah and just saying, "Hey, he's using you. He's not the chosen one. You are not the chosen one. He's full of shit. Don't listen to him. You have to change it. You have to stop this." Right? He keeps saying that shit. And I thought young Helge was going to murder old Helge. And old Helge knows this. And like he did say, the beginning and the end. And that's what made me think, okay, and he's gonna die. Old Helge's gonna die. Young Helge's gonna kill him. And he knows this, but that's gonna be the spark that lights up. So at like 86 Helge changes his mind on some of those things. And he knows that he will because he knows like he's already experienced it, right? In a way, he like that's kind of what happened, but not really. It was more indirect. So old Helge on purpose got into a traffic accident with Helge 86 in order to die because he already established himself as Helge because of the scars and the small kind of interaction they had earlier. So of course adult Helge is gonna be like, holy shit, I just literally killed myself. Like that's something you're gonna have to do. That's something Helge is gonna do in the future. That's how he goes. And it's like, holy shit. And he did say, change things. You need to change them, you know? So the only reason why old Helge did that is because Helge 86 saw him do that. And that's what changed his mind on doing the things that Noah makes him do. So that's probably what happened. But like, here's the thing. Here's the thing though. Is that I don't know. I don't fucking know. I'm confused. Because like I want to skip to the big shit like right away. But like I'm trying to put things together, it's difficult. It's very difficult. So the big shit that happened right away is that okay, Jonas tried to go to 86 and take Mikkel and turn things back to normal, even though that's not gonna work, obviously, because that's not how time works. And he was abducted by Noah and Helge. So Helge literally just put chloroform, I guess, on his mouth and make him go to sleep. And Noah abducted him and threw him into the electric chair room. So there we go. That happens. Then he's in that room. Okay. mysterious stranger shows up, and Jonas is like, "Get me out," and he's like, "I can't." And Jonas says, "Who are you?" And we get final confirmation on the fact that mysterious stranger is actually Jonas, which I call that, by the way. A lot of the shit in the show is like I call that, but at the same time I feel like it's too obvious, in a way. Well, that's the thing. Is that okay? It's not that it's too obvious because it's like it is what you think it is, but at the same time it could just not be because there's just so many crazy stuff happening in this fucking show. So it's like, okay, I think it's this, but it could be anything, like I'm not sure about anything that I'm doing. But the mysterious stranger to me had to be someone that mattered, and I keep looking between the two of them, and there were like specific transitions in the direction of some episodes when I'm like, okay, that has to be Jonas, like that has to be Jonas, and it was. So that was fun. And so the one thing that Jonas didn't realize like right away is that he's literally like, okay, I'm gonna say more crazy shit just now, but he is literally invincible by plot because he saw his future self, and since it is already established that things happen on this specific loop and you can't change them, that means that Jonas is literally unkillable. He's not gonna die. Like whatever happens, Jonas is invincible, and there's like nothing that's gonna kill him. But I just thought of something, and I actually do like this like not really a trope, but it's like this. You see this in a couple of other media, and it's the realization that your own existence perpetuates the way things are. So if you decide, you know what, I'm just gonna kill myself, that will solve the problem, and that's something Jonas can easily do. So if this version of Jonas realized, because like, okay, so here's the thing, is that I think we got the implication that yes, everything is like a time loop, but also Noah said, we need to make sure that things happens in the exact same way that they have already happened. We need to make sure that things keep going the way they are. The time loop happens exactly the same as the previous one. We need to make sure that everything is the same. So that's what makes me think of the fact that you can actually do change things. And like the decision not to will do so. But usually you're gonna default to your regular decision of doing something because that's the way it always is. Like that's the thing. It's like when we're talking about like time loops and like how I would do things, it's like I would do things in the exact same way like the alternate universe version of me would do them, right? Because it's like we're literally the same person. So yeah, like that it would not change. Like if I say I'm gonna do the opposite, my other version of myself is also gonna say I'm gonna do the opposite, and we're gonna end up doing the same thing anyway. So, right, that's how it works. But that did give me the impression that you can actually change things, because they do spend a lot of time saying that you can't, and I believe like nothing has ever been different in any possible version of time loops we've had, because I don't believe this is the first, it's like one of many. So I don't think things have ever change, but I think they could. And I think the way they could do that is by making Jonas realize he has to die, because like his own existence is perpetuating this loop, because he knows that he lives up to that point, which means that if he kills himself, he should be denying that future, which is going to cause a clusterfuck, and everything's going to derail, and hopefully that would solve the problem. Because what we're seeing is that, and what Noah said, is that future Jonas is actually the one that causes the whole issue to happen, the time loop, whatever. Like, at this point, it's like, it's so confusing that it's like, I don't even know the specifics. I'm just gonna say that whatever, and you guys know what I will be talking about, hopefully. So, okay, Noah says that Jonas, the older Jonas, actually does cause it instead of stopping it. And that he's an idiot for believing so. And that also he was a pawn of Claudia. And here's the thing. Is that we don't know what the fuck the deal is with Claudia, because we only barely got to see Claudia. But it seems that Claudia... Okay, here's the thing. Claudia... Okay, I think this is what happened. I think Claudia 86 realized the time travel shit because she was on the right track. She was definitely on the right track. And she literally just tried to understand more of it, tried to recreate it, or like tried to walk past it or whatever. And she ended up time travel to the future. And then she got locked there, and then she got stuck fighting a war in the future in 52 or whatever, right? Because we saw Claudia in that room, and she put all the pictures together and whatever, and we also saw her with a sniper rifle. So it was like, okay. Also, the clothes she's wearing, it's very like war clothes, you know, like war dystopia clothes. So it's like, okay, I think I get this. So I think Clara 86 actually figured things out. She tried to understand more. She accidentally time traveled to the future, and she got locked in a future war. And she was like, okay, I'm gonna have to change. I'm gonna have to help this. I'm gonna have to do whatever I can in order to make sure this shit doesn't happen, or in order to make sure this shit does happen. Well, I guess it would be in order to make sure this doesn't happen, because I believe the main difference between the two groups, quote unquote, which would be Noah and Claudia, and like, I don't know, like Helge and Jonas and all that stuff, I believe one of them is trying to maintain the status quo, just make sure that everything happens the exact same way, and the other one tries to change it actively because they don't like the way things are. And we need to stop this fucking time loop because it's fucking messed up. Which is also true. So I believe the main thing of this show is going to be the fact of like, can you change the future? Can you change time itself? Because it's always like, things happen because they have already happened, you know? Is there a possibility to even change it? Like, in what rules is this universe functioning? In what rules time happens here, right? So we have that. So Noah says that Claudia lied to Jonas. That means that Jonas is gonna interact with Claudia at some point. That girl that we saw that told Jonas welcome to the future, couple things. First of all, her reminded me of Claudia, but at the same time she was too young. Like, I would think that Claudia realizing things would be Claudia 86 when she's already an adult. So yeah, because Claudia 86 seems clueless and seems like she's actually realizing things. So I don't know. Maybe that girl was just someone completely random. She did say welcome to the future. So I want to talk about that line. Because that's making me think. In the future, everyone knows that time travel is real. And everybody knows that like people just sometimes just come through the future. And when you meet those people, it's like, all right, welcome to the future. This is what's going on. So grab your gun and survive. That could just be it. Sorry, my mic audio died for like a second. But I think that I was saying is that, yes, I think in the future people just casually walk accidentally into the future and they're like, all right, shit sucks. This is how it works. Go get your gun and survive. I think that's literally what happened. Because she did say, welcome to the future. Which means she knows that this is a person that doesn't live here. And that makes sense because it's like, Jonas literally just went, where am I? What year is this? And she's like, alright, future. This is it. Hi. So, okay, I want to know what the fuck happened with the black hole that older Jonas created, because he did, the way that looked is that he literally just destroyed everything. He just destroyed everything. He just killed everybody. That's the way it looked. it kind of made me remember of like End of Eva for like a second, End of Evangelion. I'm not sure why, but that's what I thought about for like a second. Construction is already happening, so I'm gonna try to talk about this as fast as I can, so we can actually do something before the noise gets too bad. But it kind of reminded me of End of Evangelion. If any of you watch Neon Genesis Evangelion, the way that show ends, it's not even the end of the episode 26, which is the final episode. It's the OVA. It's like a movie, End of Evangelion. That's what it's called. It's a pretty fucked up movie, and a lot of shit happens in it, and it's completely different to whatever the fuck you thought was gonna happen, which is the regular show. That movie is something else. This kind of reminded me of that, and I like it because it's like, I was not expecting this like huge like singularity of darkness, which is gonna be this black hole or this wormhole or whatever that just forms, and it's just this giant dome in the fucking town, and they can literally see it. I saw Alexander and Regina, they saw it, they stepped out of the car, and we saw it. It was fucking huge. And that is just like, that shit's crazy. That's awesome. So I don't know what happened. Because like, that's the thing, is that they were like, okay, older Jonas actually caused it, you know? And I said that he would survive because he's inside of the time travel bunker, which is the electric chair room. The proto version for time travel is what older Jonas said. And okay, here's the thing, is that how much does older Jonas actually know about shit that is happening? How much does he actually know? And how much does he actually just repeat what he remembers himself saying? You know? Because like, him saying that this is like a prototype version of that time travel room, it's like, do you know that? Or did you just say that because I say that? You know? I would assume that he actually knows. I would assume that he actually knows that, and that's not him just repeating it. Otherwise, they would have maybe made a thing out of it. So since it's not mentioned, I would assume that he actually knows what he's talking about. But okay, the question is, what the fuck happened with that black hole? Like, what happened? I would assume that he would survive because he is inside of the electrotron room. But what happened is that a wormhole literally opened inside of that room, and Kid Tronder was on the other side, and he literally just swapped. It's not even that he swapped places. It's that they both touched it and they both travel. And it seems like, yeah, and Kid Helge travel to 86, which is, I believe, when the electric chair room is. And then Jonas traveled to 52, which is like, it's weird because it's like, okay. Okay, so each one of them did a 33-year jump. Each one of them did one singular leap. Because one of them was in 53 and he leaped to 86. And one of them was in 2019 and he leaped to 52. So that's how it works. If you touch the thing, you leap one past. Okay, that's what I would assume happens. But okay, here's the big thing that I want to say. I'm not sure if it's true, but fuck it, let's just say it. Whatever the fuck happened in the future that is just this war, it could be because of what older Jonas did. Because that black hole shit, I cannot imagine that shit is safe. That is not the word I would use for this giant dome of darkness that he created. I would not say that shit is safe. What I would say is that shit caused everything to go to shit in the future. Well, in 2019, right? And if the course of time progresses normally, which at this point, it's like, what even is time? What is the course of time? You know? But let's just say that if it did, it would be a matter of like, okay, this giant black hole showed up and it just disintegrated the town. And it just killed everyone. Cool. That's what I would assume had happened. And as a result, there could be a war happening because of it. Because at the same time, I cannot imagine that shit was not radioactive. that might as well have been a nuclear explosion that it was doubling as a black hole and a fucking time travel machine. Like, so what I'm thinking is that, like, that cost, like, Chernobyl, but, like, 1,000 times worse. Because, of course, like, look at that shit, you know? Like, the thing is that in Evangelion, we have, like, aliens and, like, some crazy angel mythological shit going on. So the fact that the black hole thing happens and it just destroys all of humanity or whatever, spoilers for Evangelion, that shit is like, okay, that's kind of out of nowhere, but at the same time, it kind of makes sense. Because we're dealing with forces we cannot understand. This is trying to work and operate in rules that are actual rules. Like, it's trying to operate in real life logic to some, of course, it's fiction, it's wormholes and time travels and whatever, so take whatever I'm saying with a grain of salt, right? Because, like, it's not realistic, but it's trying to be, right? And since it's trying to make sense and it's trying to be realistic, it becomes a matter of, like, I can't imagine that fucking black hole, or whatever the fuck that was safe, was not unbelievably just radioactive, and that didn't cause huge repercussions in the future. So what I think happened is that happened, and then the war happened. Like, this after apocalypse, like post-apocalyptic setting, war setting, whatever you want to call it, because I'm not entirely sure what it is, happens because of what older Jonas did, and the black hole happened in 2019. There it is, right on fucking time. Hammering is happening. So I'm gonna have to stop talking soon, because this shit, impossible. But, okay, I am glad I woke up at 7 a.m. to do this shit, because right on fucking time. Right on fucking time. So, I'm looking at Jonas, looking at all the people in the resistance or whatever. There's, like, someone that seems to be, like, one or two people that seem to be, like, Asian. There's no black people, though, so that... because I was thinking of, like, future, it's like, okay, all the races just kind of mesh together. Because there's also all cultures, more specifically, not necessarily the races. Because there is a sign that is in 5 different languages. One of them is German, the other one is English, the other one is... I think that is Italian. The other one is Russian, and the other one is... I would assume Chinese, but I'm not sure if it's Japanese or not. I would assume it's Chinese just because Chinese is more prominent. But that could be Japanese. Like, the thing about confusing those characters is that Chinese and Japanese actually have the same roots, you know? So it's like, it's easy to confuse them for someone that doesn't speak it, which I don't. I don't know Japanese or Chinese, but I know that they share characters because they're literally based on, like, the same, like, core. So I don't know. I like that kind of looks like Japanese, but it could be Chinese just because Chinese is, like, more prevalent. Dude, the fucking shot of Alexander and Regina just looking at the fucking black hole storm or whatever. Like, the thing is that it's not like a black hole that, like, gets bigger, which is what I would assume. It's like a dome. It's like it's forming at the top and then it's starting to form around, like, slowly. And there's, like, lightning and shit. It, like, that looks fucking crazy. Also, Hannah had a gun. So I'm like, okay, she's probably gonna kill herself or whatever. But, like, here's the thing. Hear me out on this. Like, the fuck? Okay, so, like... okay, so, like... what even is the course of time and what even is the time loop? So, like, this show seems to be saying, like, shit is gonna loop back and it's just gonna start again. But the thing is that I'm not sure that is the case, because time seems to be moving. Like, it seems to there has to be like a progression of time, apparently. Because things happen, you know, like the entire just like human history happened, you know, everyone has their memories, everyone has their actions, they live their lives normally, and then they get to the next point. Like, that's the thing, is that if it was a single point in time that was looping, it was like, it would sort of make sense, sort of. But the fact that there's 3 points and now a fourth one, apparently, you can't say that each one of them are looping, because the next one has to happen, right? So there is a progression of time happening. So it's not really a loop, unless the loop is the whole thing. Like, unless like 53, 86, 2019 is not 3 different things, but it's just like one big loop. It's like one like 99 years loop. That could be it. Yeah, that could be it. But it's like, yeah, and now we're touching on the future one. But if it's a loop, then that would mean that after this future war thing, we're gonna loop back to 53. I would assume. But that would mean that this had to end like right here. I hate this shit. I hate it so much. Like, yesterday, I didn't sleep at all, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay up, I'm gonna edit these videos, Doctor Who videos that need to go live right now, actually. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna record Doc, it's gonna be awesome. And then this shit started happening. I hit record and immediately hammering. And that drove me fucking nuts. Dude, I hate, like, I don't want to cut this short, because it's the finale. It's the finale of season 1, and a lot of shit gonna happen. So we're gonna try and keep going through this. I did like that older Jonas, like, he set up the thing, and the black hole thing started happening, and he just, like, sat back, and he was like, it's done. And then he looked to his side, and he saw Michael Conwell, like his dad / Mikkel, looking at him just bloodied, and he was like kind of smiling. So that was, yeah, like, okay, so I don't think that's literally him. I think that's just him being crazy. Because, like, we saw it before, and before I thought it could be a thing, and at this point I'm like, it could be, but I think it's not. I think it's just crazy. I think it's just not taking his meds, and that's the end of it. So that could be it. Him just being schizophrenic. Oh yeah, I did say, I believe Bartosz might be Noah, but Bartosz might also just be a puppet. Speaking of puppets, Noah did say that older Jonas and just everybody is just Claudia's puppet, apparently. Claudia doesn't strike me as the bad guy. Like, Claudia doesn't strike me as evil. And also Noah is the one saying this, which is the least, like, the person you least want to believe in. You know, like, take anything Noah says with a grain of salt, because he is full of shit. But, like, that's the thing, is that we don't know if he is, because we don't know enough about this show, enough about what's going on, to actually know whether a character is full of shit or not. But I would be inclined to believe that Noah is full of shit, and that he is in fact the bad guy. But we don't know that, so that could be true, but I would be inclined to believe that not. He did say that, like, Claudia is using Jonas, and she lied to him. So what I'm thinking is, because, like, Claudia strikes me as the kind of character that is trying to stop things. She is trying to make sure this doesn't happen. That I could be wrong. She could be doing the complete opposite. But she's not playing for Noah. And Noah is the one trying to make things happen in the exact same manner that they happen, and perpetuate the everything, the loop. So I would be inclined to believe that Claudia's doing the opposite, because Noah did say there's two opposing forces. So, Claudia's trying to stop it. So, she could lie for that goal, but not against it. In that case, she could have been wrong, just straight up wrong. So that could be it. But also, here's the thing: is that I don't know if the course of time keeps moving after the events that happened right here in 2019, because again, we keep seeing time at we keep seeing different points in time, which means that time has to progress, time has to move, it has to keep going. It's not a singular loop and then it doesn't happen and then we just jump into the next one. That's just how it seems. But time it has to be a line, and we just keep jumping at different points in the line. It's not 4 different circles. It has to be a line, right? So what I'm curious about is that, I want to see, for the first time in this fucking show, I want to see things clearly in a line. I don't want to jump back in time. I don't want to jump into the future. I just want to see what the fuck happened. I want to stay in 2019 and see what the fuck happened after that, black hole thing. That's what I want to see. Are we going to see that? Probably not. Probably we're going to jump into the future and that's going to be the end of it. And we're just going to have that future storyline going on for season 2. And then maybe we'll jump back to whatever happened at the end of that storyline. But here's the thing, is that Jonas, we have confirmation that the mysterious stranger is indeed Jonas. So we know A, Jonas doesn't die until that point. B, Jonas has to live 33 years, because I believe the mysterious stranger literally said 33 years. Because I believe Jonas said, this is how I feel, I want to change things or whatever. And the mysterious stranger said, 33 years later, I still feel that way. You still do 33 years later, I still want that. So this is Jonas 33 years into the future for himself. So that doesn't mean that you jump 33 years. That means that Jonas live 33 years more. Okay. So Jonas might live 33 years in the future war place in possibly 2052 for 33 years. If he lives 33 years in 52, that would mean that he stays alive until 2085. And then in 2085, he time travels to make this happen. So he comes from 2085. Okay, that could be it. Again, I remember when the fucking mysterious stranger said a number of times, I said to Tannhaus, I've seen the future, I know what's gonna happen, and I have to change it, So I was like, there has to be a fucked up future, and the answer is yes, there is. I just keep going back. Okay, so Ulrich in jail, yeah. The fact that Charlotte fucking saw the picture of Ulrich in 53, that is the oh shit moment. That is the oh shit moment. Luckily, unluckily, she didn't realize that until the black hole happened and the singularity happened and everyone died. Maybe. I still don't know what happened there. So, yeah. Dude, I don't even know what else to say because this shit is fucking crazy. I did like the fact that he just brought like a flask of like radiation material, I guess, and he just put that into the time machine, and he was like, "This is how it works." Because like Tannhaus just does things the way they're supposed to be done now that he has the future reference, but he doesn't actually understand exactly how it works. And but the mysterious stranger does, Jonas does. So it's like, yeah, got into a fight with Bartosz. Ulrich in jail, yeah. He actually talked to Ines for fucking finally. He actually talked to Ines. And Ines gave him the, like, I'm glad I actually got that. Like, I'm glad I actually got that. Because I was like, I think that the moment I started going hard on the mysterious stranger being Jonas is when it's on that episode where the mysterious stranger just talked to him. And I think it was on the same episode when he actually got the package of things, and he looked at the map, and the mysterious stranger had written something in it, and then the packages had the note, the letter, and I was like, that letter, it's the same letter, but he didn't get it. Ines got it. But that letter also looks old, which means that that letter had to travel, like that, not travel, but like had to go through the course of time normally, and then you get the older version of the letter, but the young version of the letter that Ines has to go to Jonas at some point, or the mysterious strangers at some point. But then I was like, but who's the mysterious stranger in order to get the letter? And I'm like, it could be Jonas. Like, she could just give it to Jonas, and then Jonas has it, and then he gives it to himself ahead of time, because he got it ahead of time, so he knows he has to get it ahead of time. So yes, I'm glad I got that. I'm glad I fucking got that. I'm very happy about that. Dude, the beginning of this episode was so fucking good. Peter was just sitting there, a wormhole opens, dead kid. And then he was like, oh, this is a dead kid that died 33 years ago. Cool. What the fuck? You know? And then he go Tronti, and Tronti was like, what the fuck? You know? That beginning of the episode was awesome. This entire episode was awesome. It was definitely, I think it was definitely the best episode in the show so far. Because the thing about the show is that it's drama. It's like every single character has a drama going on. And at this point, like later, like in this episode, it's like, okay, this is the episode where shit goes down. This is the episode where everything goes to shit, essentially. So it's like, Jesus, like the thing is that I don't really know what the fuck to expect of season 2. I don't really know what to expect of season 2. What I would assume season 2 was gonna be is it's just gonna be like we're just hanging out in the future wasteland during the war or after the war. That's gonna be it. I want to say that Jonas, Noah did say, when I was a child, like a stranger visited us and he rented a room at our house, and he had this eyes of someone who has been, someone who saw war itself or something like that. Someone who just wanted to die but couldn't. Like, the fact that he directly made an allusion to war makes me think, okay, Noah might be talking about Jonas himself or anyone else. Because they did make sure to give a hard cut to Jonas as he was saying that. Years ago, I was still a little boy. A stranger came to us. He looked as he'd been in the war. Didn't talk much. And we just make a hard cut to Jonas. There was sadness in his eyes. The kind you see sometimes in those who want to die but life won't let them. And we just have a an amazing shot, just Jonas looking into the camera. He took a room in our house, the bedroom right next to mine, and sometimes I heard talking to sleep, confused words, his eyes wide open, confused words, okay. But one night, he was suddenly very clear. He stood in the hallway, eyes wide open, and said, "Nothing is in vain. Not a single breath. Not a single step, not a single word. Not pain. An eternal miracle of the one." Whatever the fuck that means, right? Whatever the fuck that means. Ines taking Mikkel to her house, and you can see for like a second. You don't really get to see it much, but Ines takes Mikkel to her house because she adopts him. I believe that is Ines. I'm pretty sure that is Ines. That's not the orphanage lady. I'm pretty sure that is Ines because they did make sure to talk about that. It's just that her hair is down, so it's difficult to tell because then it's dark. But I'm pretty sure that is Ines, and she takes Mikkel to her house, and it's Jonas's house, and Mikkel realizes this. Yeah, it's Jonas's house. Mikkel realizes it, and he has this look in his face of like, "Oh shit," and he's like almost about to start crying. You can see it for like a second that Mikkel is putting that together. That's fucked. Yeah, and then the singularity happens. We get to see Claudia with the fucking gun. Okay, so that shit that looks like snow, but it's clearly not snow. Like, okay, so I am not very knowledgeable on the genre of post-nuclear, post-apocalyptic, post-nuclear war thing, like, in media. You know, there's games like that. There's, like, Fallout. People are big fans of Fallout, but I don't like those games. There's, like, Stalker. I don't like about those games either. So, yeah, I'm not big on this genre, but that's not because I necessarily hate it. It's just that I just don't find the appeal too much. But the moment you make time travel into that point, it's like, okay, now I'm listening. Because time travel is my jam. But whatever. What I wanted to say is that I don't think that is snow. Because I'm seeing Claudia with the gun. And there's like snow. But it's like, I don't think that is snow. I'm not sure how that shit works, but I'm thinking it's like nuclear fallout. Like, yeah, because like I don't know the specifics, but like shit goes bad, and then the water goes bad, which makes the clouds go bad, which makes everything go bad. You know, that's how it works. So that could be it. Alternatively, it could just be ashes, but there's no fire, so that's what I think it is. Yeah, Jonas just sees the wormhole, teleports himself. The kid, young Helge sees the wormhole, teleports himself. He gets to the future, war. Here we are. So there you go. Alright. I don't know if anything else I can talk about this. I can only say what I'm expecting season 2 to be. But honestly, like, I have no fucking clue. I have no clue. So, I think this is it. Yeah, I was thinking about this and like, there we go again. So I was thinking about this and I did like a 2.15 hours of a Doctor Who talk when I just talk about what I thought about the season that we just went through, and I did this for the previous season as well. Now that we have finished Dark season 1, I thought about, I do want to make like a video where I just talk about the entire season and what I thought of it, but I don't know if I can say anything about this season more than what I have already said every episode. you know. Yeah, because the thing about talking about the Doctor Who seasons and every episode is that every episode is like an adventure, and every season is like a whole thing. Meanwhile, Dark is like there's no comparison for it. It's just me seeing it and experiencing for the first time, and there's nothing like it. That's just what it is. So I'm just gonna say right now at the end of this episode, just real quick, how I felt about this season. So this show so far, because this isn't just the show, that's just my experience of it. This entire show, I stand by what I said like earlier in the video. I was like, this show is really good at giving me a lot to work with and no answers ever. This episode did give me some answers and some confirmations. So like that's it. The show is very good if you just wanna think about dumb bullshit and come up with wild theories. Well, here's the thing: is that I think that you can enjoy the show by just binging it because you don't think too much about it, and then you get surprised. But also, I think watching it this way also works because you're coming up with wild, stupid theories, and then it's like, well, they're true, and you're like, yes, which is how I'm experiencing it. I'm still surprised in some things. There's still a lot that I don't actually understand, and then I'm like, oh shit, that's how it works. That's what happened, But a lot of it is just like me calling things and hoping they happen or not, and sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And I think I have a pretty good record of like one and the other. It's like I throw shit at the wall, half of it sticks, half of it doesn't, and I think that's good. I like that. So yeah, this show has been incredibly fun to just experience and think about it and just see some crazy shit, and knowing that it could be true, and then it turns out that it is. How I feel about the characters in the show. I think they're all fucked up. Like, that's the thing about the show, is that all of the characters presented in this, like, every single one has their own, like, drama. And I'm someone that just doesn't like drama that much. It's like, fuck that shit. Just move on. That's how I feel about a lot of things, personally. Just in life in general. So if you give me a piece of media that has, like, I don't know, like a bajillion characters and all of them are fucked up, it's like, I'm gonna not relate to any of them. None of them I relate to. So as for what is relatable, none of the characters are. As for what characters do I give a shit about, very few. Like I actually don't think I care about what happens to these characters, but I'm just sitting here curious about these characters. Like, I am intrigued. I am not involved, but I am intrigued. And I want to see where they go. But, like, I wouldn't be, like, shook by Ulrich dying in 53 because they are like, you killed a child, I wouldn't, like, that wouldn't surprise me. And, like, I called it, like, episodes ago at this point, so I'm like, yeah, that could be a thing. Like, Jonas is probably the closest character you actually kind of care about. That's because he's just a character that's put into, like, a lot of crazy shit happening, and he's like, I just want shit to be normal, and it's like, well, you're just gonna have to deal with this, Like, he's the only character that maybe you kind of care about, but he's also, like, has its ups and downs, because everyone in this town is kind of fucked up, so what are you gonna do? The ideas that the show executes on have been really good. I have to say, the people that thought about the show definitely thought of a really cool show, a really cool concept of, like, because here's the thing, is that time travel is really cool on its own, and then it's like, okay, we have time travel. How do we make a cool story around time travel? And an easy answer, but, like, it's an easy answer to come to, but it's also, like, it's a good one. It's bootstrap paradox. It's causal loop. It's the fact that things that you do in the future cause things to happen in the past that led things to happen in the future to begin with. That's causal loop. And this show executes on that really well, because it's like, immediately we get to see this kid, this random ass character. Immediately it's like, okay, this character is actually the main character's dad. He's actually Jonas's dad, who is also his friend when he was a kid. And like the fact that he went all the way back there and he became that person that caused, like everything happens because it has already happened. Like, everything has an influence over everything. And that is a really cool way of doing time travel. But the fact that the show consistently goes from, like, we were doing 2019, and then suddenly 2 episodes later we were doing 86, and the entire episode was just 86. And then on episode 8 we just did 53, and that's it. We just did 53 for the entire episode. And then it's like, I feel like, and now I think we're just gonna be doing like 2052. So it's like, Jesus fuck, like, this show doesn't give a shit. I said that before. This show doesn't give a shit. You can just jump from one to the other, and we're just gonna be doing that now. And it's like, I like that. I respect it for it, and I think it does a great job at doing so. It does a really good execution on it. So I think the show has been doing an amazing job at what it's supposed to be doing. I have to say this. I feel like you could cut on the drama that every episode has for every character. I feel like you could make that shorter. Because I feel like there's a lot of shows, like Netflix shows, just like TV trash in general shows, that are a lot about drama, and I don't much care for that. Like, I'm not watching a telenovela. Like, I don't much care for that. So I feel like you could cut on that a little bit and focus more on the crazy sci-fi shit, which is what the show... That is the main appeal of the show, isn't it? It's not the drama. It's the crazy time travel shit. At least for me. That's not to say there shouldn't be any drama. Because, like, the thing is that a lot of the drama that happens for all of these characters is causing things in the first place. Which is kind of the point of the show. Things causing other things, and time loop, and, you know, future, past, whatever. Like, so... in a way, I'm like, it is fitting, but I feel like it might be too much, and we're focusing a lot on something that should have less focus and less on the things that should have more focus. At least that's the way I feel about it. I would say that that's like my only complaint about this show, essentially. And even that, it's not like a huge complaint. It's just me saying, like, I like this more over than this, and I want more of this other than that. You know, it's. I think it's a common reaction to have. Anyway, hammering has been going hard this few minutes. I'm hungry, so I think I'm just gonna be done with this video now. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, and I can't wait to see what the fuck season 2 is gonna be. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching this episode of A Dark Reaction. This season was a fun one. Motherfucker, I'm trying to record for 20 seconds! Stop! If you want to see next episode, first episode of the next season should already be up on Patreon as well as full length. Check out the links in the description, check out the gaming channel, fun stuff is happening there, and I'll see you next time. Take care.